tell us why you were attracted to a film like Boys from County Health with you, Nigel.
Well, it's to me they're real characters. You know, they're characters from where we come from around here, local sort of characters that I would have grown up with over the years. You would have seen like fathers and sons like that. You know, where the father maybe would have been working, say, in a garage or somewhere, and his son's brought out to help him reluctantly. You know, so they're bickering together. And as when I was young, my father had old trucks, and he would have brought them to garages to get them repaired. And these characters, these mechanics were there, and somehow they fascinated me. Just they were always not scary, but they were just strange. So, but it was lovely, and to them to try and portray that on screen. And Chris Baugh, who wrote this and directed it, has a great way of analysing people. You know, seeing and using their mannerisms and how they speak and all. So he had a great way of putting down on paper. So it was just lovely to see that and see that all up on the big screen.
That's terrific. I understand this was Chris's based on Chris's short film before, and you also starred in Chris's short film.
Yeah, they did that as a proof of concept. You know, just to at that point they thought, you know, this is great. We had great fun making it as well. And they thought, you know, at the time, oh my God, this is where we're going now. We're going to make the feature. They'll give us some money to make the feature. But of course, that was nearly 10 years ago now, and we probably all wouldn't have been ready to be at that stage. But as Chris says himself, he wouldn't have been ready to make it at that point. But it was a great experience as well, and it was lovely to get back into Francie's boots again and play with him and you know, stretch the story out a bit and see where he's coming from and see why he is the way he is, and explore the relationship with Eugene. So, and then there's more characters in it now, and they're more developed, and they're all great crowd of people. Yeah.
Was your character a whole lot different 10 years ago to what it is in the feature film, or is it still very similar?
Hopefully I'm more, you know, I've lived more since that, you know, so maybe there's more in me that to give to Francie. I don't know, but it's interesting to explore him again. You know, I had a take on him back then. I had a particular way that I played him, and it was just interesting to explore it again. But there was much more to this script now. There's more to it, and more in depth the background story about his wife, and you know why he is the way he is, and the relationship. There's more to the relationship now between him and his son. So there's a lovely way the relationship arches, you know, and then hopefully has a conclusion. I don't want no spoilers, of course, but you
know. Which part was harder for you as an actor, the horror or the comedy?
Well, see, we weren't really playing it for laughs because you were just saying the words, you know. I mean, it was the horror, physically, it was very difficult for me, but it was great fun. Don't get me wrong. The antics we get up to, and the stuntmen were there helping us. You know, they might be very big, extravagant stunts, but there were bits and pieces of falling about and falling into holes and jumping. And there's one whole scene near the end where it's very physical, where Francie's dragged along the floor. So the hardest part for me was the physicality of it all. So maybe I'm just not fit. I don't know. But the horror, no, that's all fun. That's all great crack. You know, it was very hard not to laugh. We were laughing constantly because it's just, we got in trouble nearly for laughing all the time. It's just, you become these wee silly children when somebody starts laughing in a scene, then you just get the giggles. It's very difficult to. It was that type of set, you know. It was that sort of that type of set you can imagine. You know, it was good crack.
I was going to say that your scene physically was pretty impressive by itself. Was that practical or CGI?
The what? Sorry, I missed the start of that. What did you say?
I said, was it practical or CGI physicality towards the end?
Oh, there was a bit of things fitted, a bit of CGI, a bit of acting, I hope. So a great mixture. There was great effects people. Forgive me, I don't remember their names, but they were brilliant. They put on prosthetics on me, and the whole bizarre. When I read that at the start, I thought, my God, I've never seen this before. how can you do that with this? You know what I mean? So it was some crack. It was brilliant to see it all put together, the finish up after the whole physicality of it all. It was great.
I do admit that the fight scenes, it looks like it was a lot of fun for you, especially the fight scene with the pole with Charlie and so on. Could you tell me about how do you pull that off without laughing so hard?
Oh God, we did laugh because there was just different things that didn't work on the day. You know what I mean? We shot that in the middle of the night as well, and it was cold, but it was just so bizarre. Francie was more interested in his pole. When he sees the guy coming out with the pole, he thinks his first reaction is that my new pole? Rather than saying there's a man with a pole in him. You know what I mean? So, and then the dance thing, the dance thing, it was just bizarre. It was just so funny, and it's hard not to laugh, but it's you're working with great people, and they're so professional, and then when it's all put together with the music that they used, it's just it's just so funny. I think it's funny.
I think it's hilarious too. The vampires, I was actually very impressed on the look of the vampires. What did it look up close to you when you were acting on set?
Oh my God, Robert's a brilliant actor. He brings so much to it as well. He's been in things like Star Wars and different things. He's an amazing actor. He's a great. When you speak to him, he's a lovely, quiet, gentle person, but he can really create this incredible monster. So we watched him putting on the makeup on Robert, and it takes something like maybe 3 or 4 hours. He's in there really early in the morning. You go in, and he's working on him and getting this whole thing on him, and he's sitting, hello there, and saying hello to you, and this big crazy mask on him, and it's just funny because when between takes he was sitting outside, just relaxing, in the sun, and you were talking to him normally. It was bizarre. It was really strange speaking to this bizarre looking thing, but it was incredible. I never seen. It was an amazing costume. It was sort of, I think it was based on, according to Chris, I think it was based on like these bog bodies they find in peat's mosses. In peat over here in Ireland, they find bodies in them sometimes, and they're preserved, but they're preserved this leathery, bizarre looking thing, and I think that's where you had an idea from. I think so.
Now, what do you think about the Chris's story for the vampires, where the rules of the vampires of the Bram Stoker's like thrown out the window?
Well, that was just a sort of a tease, really. I thought it was nice to sort of play around with that idea. I think it's Abhartach is based on a folklore somewhere in Ireland, as far as I know. There's a legend of this sort of, where it's true or not, I don't know, but it is. And the only way to you can't kill this particular vampire. You only can cover up with stones, that sort of thing. So, but it was interesting the way the way the characters, Jack, Eugene, and them guys, and William and all play with this whole carry on with the Bram Stoker was here, and the mess with all the tourists and all, and so it just turns the whole thing up on its head. So it's incredible. I think it's a great story. It's a lovely story.
How do you like acting alongside Jack, who plays your son Eugene in the film?
Jack is an incredible actor. He's a lovely fella, a lovely, nicest fella you could meet. And would you believe his grandfather lives about a mile that way there? When Chris told me they cast this guy, and he's from London, but his grandfather lives in this village that I live in, and I couldn't think of it for a while, and he said he was incredible, and he's such a great actor. He's so easy to work with because he's constantly giving you something all the time, and you just react to that. So it's so easy, but it's lovely to watch. He's half my age, and it's just amazing to watch someone like that, so talented, so young, and it's just incredible. It just brings it on like that. But lovely fella as well, really nice guy. Like.
Do you enjoy acting in? I'm assuming Ireland is your home country.
It is, yes. I love it in the north of Ireland, and yes, I love it. Yeah, it's. Oh, I've been acting for, gosh, over 20 odd years now, I would say. But no, it's great, and it's great that we get to work here. Because when we were young, when you turned on the TV, the films were American or English or whatever. That's the only accents you heard. But now there's a whole range of accents from all over the world, and bits of stuff shot everywhere. So we're very lucky that the Game of Thrones come to Ireland here, and that has trained up a whole crew of people and opened up so many doors. And now we've got great film studios here, so we have a great infrastructure here now to make movies, to make TV series. So we can do good things. So fingers crossed, it's only the tip of the iceberg,
Yeah, and you were on an episode of Game of Thrones. That must have been the thrill.
I played the Baratheon general to Stannis Baratheon, so that was a great experience as well. Just been part of a big TV show like that. Just the whole experience of being in this, all these people around. And normally I was working on independent films or small bits here and there, but when I got a role in that, it was incredible. Great experience and lovely people as well. And it was nice. It was a great experience. That's a good while ago now. That's 4 or 5 years ago now, maybe, I think. Yeah. It was good. It's a great show.
Excellent. Well, with such a long career for yourself, I mean, you've done big things like Game of Thrones, but you also done, independent or even like, horror comedies. What else do you want to do in the future?
Oh, I'm happy just to play different roles, just anything that's different or new, exciting, and just different. And I'm hoping they'll make more television over here. I love television as well. I love a lot of the drama, the Finnish dramas, the things that are shot in Denmark, like The Bridge and that sort of thing. I love that sort of cops thing, that the duo cop thing. I love that sort of thing. But just to play interesting characters, something to challenge myself and try something different and see where it takes me. Just tell stories, really. It's you never know what's around the corner. You don't know what sort of a story someone's going to present you with. So hopefully, I will keep getting offers of different stories. I don't know. Who knows? You never know from one day to the next.
And one more thing about the film is, if there were vampires in your neighborhood, would you be as brave as Francie to fight it, or would you run?
And with Francie, you see, Francie's a funny guy. He just takes it like it's work. He just sees it as, we got to do this, we got to do this, we got to do this. So we got to go and cut the head of this guy. We got to chop him up. We got to sort that out. So it's just work to him. Same as we got to build this wall. We got to fix this road. So there's a vampire there. We got to kill this vampire. So he takes it that way. For me, I don't think so. I think I would run him out. I don't think I would cope with it. I would just be running away scared, probably.
Excellent. Well, one last question before I let you go, Nigel. Okay. As the world has gone crazy, past 12 to 13 months, and I know you're staying safe as we're starting to reopen up. How did you stay sane and creative during this past year?
Well, I'm very lucky. I live in the countryside, so I can. We can walk. I don't. The village is that way, but it's over a mile away. So we can go for walks here. I'm here with my wife and my 2 children. So we spent time doing that. Just read a lot and watched a lot of TV, a lot of dramas and stuff. A lot of this bits and this, or this and other. So caught up on a lot of things that I wanted to see, but. Sometimes it's hard. Then there comes a point where sometimes then when you start to read, it's not going in. After a long, sorry, at the start it was a bit of a novelty, but then you just have to keep getting up every day and try to be fresh about it and just be positive and look. Since we've got we started to get our vaccines now, which is great. So I've had 1 dose, so. Hopefully everything's going the right way. Hopefully, fingers crossed. We've been very lucky here, in this part of the world. They seem to have done well with the vaccine rollout.
Excellent. Yeah, same here. So, Nigel, hey, appreciate you speaking with me. This is a quite enjoyable movie. I was smiling throughout. I was more smiling than scared, but yeah.
Yeah, well, that's good. Well, as long as you enjoyed it, I'm glad you did. No, that's great. That's great. Great. Thank you very much, and thanks for having me. Enjoyed it. Yep.
Thank you. Next time.
All the best. Good luck. Bye bye.